What's up, everybody? Today, I want to talk about a topic that is talked about often with what's happening in the economy, and that is the idea of inflation. I'm Matt Love, founder of Cashflow Architects, where I help people understand how to generate more cash flow for the rest of their life, ideally with the least amount of taxes as possible. So, I think one of the biggest misunderstandings right now is how to utilize inflation as your friend rather than your foe. All right, so first of all, if you believe that inflation exists, then inflation is going to either hurt or help your financial situation. There is no in between. So today I want to give you a little bit of a understanding of how to allow inflation to help your financial situation rather than run away from it and be scared and actually lose money. A lot of people don't understand how inflation can literally erode massive amounts of wealth, and you don't even see it happening. The year that I was born was 1982. Today, if I make $100,000, that's equal to about $40,000 of income in 1982. In other words, 40 grand could buy the same amount of groceries and stuff that $100,000 does today. Now, that's going to happen in the future. If you believe inflation exists, how can you get in front of that curve? The easiest way to do this is understanding how debt works. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just giving you an idea of how to calculate where you are in your world. So let's look at a mortgage. A mortgage is a great way to hedge inflation. And this is a follow-up from another video that I talked about prior to. So we're looking at a $200,000 house. And I get it. It's not a very expensive house. The average house right now is like $380,000 in America. So this is a small number. We can always change this, but I want to be consistent from the other videos that we've already done. So a $200,000 mortgage, and right now you can get a 30-year mortgage for around 3%, okay? Now, that's a 30-year mortgage, and if we look on this interest column all the way down here, you're going to spend around $100,000 of interest. If you watch my video when I asked the question to Dave Ramsey, it says, what am I missing? Well, Dave Ramsey says, you want to buy a 15-year mortgage because you're going to save a lot of money on interest. He's completely correct, but he's ignoring inflation and he's ignoring taxes and the possibility of a deduction on that interest. Let's just look at the number, $100,000 in interest. Well, my monthly payment is $843. Here's how you allow inflation to help you. I know that a 30-year mortgage has an interest rate that is guaranteed never to change if I get the right type of mortgage. So that means that I know my payment is going to be $843 a month. And as inflation takes off, as inflation goes up, the value of your dollar goes down. What does that mean? That means that the buying power that the $843 can give you today is not going to be the same 30 years from now. So you can pay the bank off with deflated dollars, same dollar amount, but they're deflated in value. So you could literally print off 360 checks for $843, put a stack of checks in your office, and every month you take a check, send it to the bank. And as you send it to the bank, the value of the money is going down and down and down and down. How much so? Well, let's look at it. If we looked at the time value of money, so the present value is $843. What's inflation? This year, they're talking about inflation being around 5%. That's a lot. I think the government talks about 3%. I think that's probably a conservative number. Let's just use 3. Let's say it's a 3% inflation, and so it's a -3. So my value of my money is going down by 3% each year. And I do the time value over 30 years. The value of the 843 will be equal to around $340 30 years from now. Now my check is going to say $843 that I send to the bank, but the value is around 340. That's massive. That's massive. Let's look at what you would do, why for some people, it's a horrible idea to do a 15-year mortgage. Now, a bank is going to incentivize you to do a 15-year mortgage by giving you a smaller interest rate. So let's say it's a $200,000 purchase, and the interest rate's only 2.5. Look, honey, we're saving money on interest. And instead of 30 years, we're only going to do a 15-year mortgage. Let's look at the interest. 40,000 over 15 years. And this is where Dave Ramsey starts and stops his conversation. He's not wrong. You will save a lot of money on interest. He's also going to teach you how to be debt-free and broke for a really long time, because you're theoretically spending now more money on a monthly basis, $1,333, which is like almost $500 more than what the other mortgage would have been. So you're debt-free sooner. What if instead you took that extra $500? I'll show you the math here. 1333 minus 843, $490. What if I took the $490 and put it in as 12% mutual fund? Let's look at it. Future value calculator. I'm going to pull up my calculator here. So 490 times 12 months a year is 5,880. So let's say my annual payment of 5,880 at my 12% interest rate that I can get in my mutual funds, according to some people. What happens over 15 years? I'll have almost $250,000. Well, let's see what happens in my deflated mortgage cost. In 15 years, my 843 is going to feel like $500, $530. So my value is going down, that's going to the bank, and I got to save 245. At that point, I hope everyone listens here. This means you're solvent. Yes, you have debt, but you also have the ability to pay off the debt. So you're in control. What's your goal in life? To be debt-free or to have more money? I'm using, now these aren't even my numbers. These are what financial entertainers talk about. Is your goal to be debt-free, or do you want to have more money? People say, well, I want both. Pick one. Understanding how good debt can help hedge inflation and give you control over your money can allow you to have more money while carrying good debt. We need to think about this. Now, watch this. So here's my 30-year mortgage. I only owe $122,000 left on the mortgage in the 15th year. Well, my mutual fund has $250,000. If I want to be debt-free, I can be. And if I decided to take $122,000 and pay off the mortgage, I also have $120,000 left over in cash. Is it your intention to be debt-free, or is it your intention to have more money? I hope this helps you understand how inflation is going to either help or hurt your ability to create wealth over your lifetime. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We love having new followers. We do weekly meetings, weekly videos teaching you how wealth actually works. Some of them are a little more nerdy like this, where we dive into the weeds and get into the numbers. But yeah, I hope you like this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.